Good thing. I want to finish off chapter 3 today. Let's go. The next time I see you, you will have a test. Yes, because we'll finish chapter 3 today, if we can stop blabbing and work.
Only teams of 2 are permitted. The event will take place April 25th at 3:30. Dual credit window for the fall is open. Deadline to apply for dual credit is June 7th. If you're interested in taking dual credit, there's information tomorrow night, April 4th. Pending letter. Parents and students are encouraged to attend. Additional meeting on April 11th at 2:05 in the theater. Mrs. Murphy, if you have any questions. Rivers Fine Arts Boosters hosting their annual gala on April 27th in Rivers High School Gymnasium. Year's theme and celebrate that begins at 6:30 that evening. More information listed on the announcement page. Anybody interested in hosting a French student for a couple of weeks in April? See Miss Unier as soon as possible. April 13th through 27th. Still looking for a family for one young man. This Friday, April 7th, 10:30 to 5 in the library, the Game Cubs final activity of the year, Council D&D Magic Tabletop Game. All students grades 8 through 12 are welcome and lunch is provided. Donations are appreciated. Congratulations to the hosted team for a successful state conference, scoring in the top 10 of their event. Kate Heine, Kate Stalen, Savannah Thompson, Sarah Heine, Kaylee Miranda Peterson, Kayla Nasher. 2 qualified for the international conference, Johnny Jensen in health career photography and Elizabeth Von Allsville in clinical nursing. Congratulations, hostess students. Tell everyone, students and staff watch and listen to any weather-related announcements. So safe and sound real good. As soon as I know, I will let you know what's going on. Oh, please stand for the pledge. To the flag.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, have a great day.
Related to
Figures we got someone gone and Infinite Campus is broken today. Just so y'all know that too, when you, if any of you are trying to check grades and assignments and stuff like that, campus is down. So, because it's a state-run thing and state things go bad, increase public education funding. So, if you have any off-the-cuff, impulsive questions, just wait until we get this part done.
the brownies look really good. So,
Remember, these are just numbers pulled out of an orifice. I don't know what it's going to end up like.
I also have a question.
Can you decrease that? My question is, from here, can I reduce that, pull out a 4? But would that really make a difference? Because I just have to distribute it back even when I multiply. So it wouldn't really make a difference.
There you go, taking the scenic route again. Yes, you can. You can do that.
But why?
Yeah, but why?
I was getting there.
And when you when you get to the end, remember we were generally combining these as a single log expression. Also, write your decimal equivalent or approximation with it, just to be safe. Because remember, when you get that big nasty decimal, if you have all the calculations still in the memory of your calculator, then you can just use that answer button to check it real quick. People's hair gets everywhere.
I've got so much hair over on my face. It grudges me over even though I shed it.
Well, mine looks really long too, but it works, so.
I mean, you got to go full dad mode and add the little at the end of it. Okay, looks like most of us are there in terms of the work. Maybe just double checking some stuff with the calculator. Anyone need more? Okay, all right. That's why I'm asking. You for anyone who was in here earlier, I had a meeting. I wasn't sure how long it would go. You came this close to having a guest appearance. McCreary was going to come down here and kick things off for us, but meeting ended at like 8:12, so we were close. So I know a couple of you had her for algebra 2, right? And if anyone is curious, maybe for your compatriots who are down in Algebra 2 right now. Math department made up their mind. It's Jameson who's going to take PreCalc next year.
Who was going to take it? He's like the easiest teacher in the whole world. Better than Eddie.
It made more sense for him to have the 3, possibly 4 sections of PreCalc, because we don't want him to go crazy, because right now he's got freshmen all day.
Oh my god. Doesn't he take physical science?
Uh-huh.
So is he taking physical
No one
science?
hates freshmen. We're just annoyed by them. There's a difference.
No.
All right.
The first step is to accept.
The girls.
All right, before we get into commiserating about freshmen, how about, what is the first step in order to get variables out of exponent town? You gotta log them. Is it just gonna throw someone for a loop if I use natural log for this whole thing? Okay. Like log, ln, don't matter. Whatever your base is. If you log both of them, that means this comes down as coefficient, this comes down as coefficient. 6x minus 3 by log 3 is now 4 minus 4x by log 2. And after that, this is just a basic algebra equation. Like, it's a variable on both sides, distribute, combine like terms, divide. It's just a lot uglier, okay? So we got minus 3 log 3 here. We've got 6 log 3 x's. I've got 4 log 2's here. I've got minus 4 log 2 x's there. I want x's to one side, not x's to the other. So I need to add this guy over here. And I need to add that guy over there. So that we have a grand total of, there we go. We'll have 6 log 3 plus 4 log 2 x's. When I add this over here, I'll have 4 log 2 plus 3 log 3 constants. And that's just a bigger but uglier version of 5x equals 12. Divide, and you should be good to go. We're going to have x is 4 log 2 plus 3 log 3 over 6 log 3 plus 4 log 2. But wait, there's more. I can't just leave it like this. I want to use my log properties to combine things. Pink, and we'll go pink. That's going to be a log of 2 to the 4th, or 16, times 3 to the 3rd, or 27, over the log of 3 to the 6th, so that's 81, 243, 729, by 2 to the 4th, which is 16 again. No, just because they both have a 16 as a factor, you can't cancel them. They are separate objects of logs. It's just going to have to stay huge. So, I don't feel like mental mathing. Y'all got a calculator? Did I hear that right? Okay. Or, if you had wanted to, probably like only one other person besides Holly who did this, log base 11,664 of 432. Okay, so we want to get down to either of those white answers because those would be simplified expressions or as simplified as they can get. The decimal approximation for that, if I want to check that I did stuff right, then I'm going to take that log of 432 divided by the log of 11,664. There we go. Now I'm going to get some nasty decimal. I can always go back to the original and say 3 to the 6 times my answer minus 3. Subtract the other side, 2 to the 4 minus 4 times my answer. And if I did it right, we're good to go. Again, if you use the decimal approximation and plug it back in, it won't be perfect, but you'll get something really, really close. It'll be like 0.0000 numbers. Now, you'll be pretty close. But if you keep it in the memory like this and then just use the answer button, you should be perfect. Be careful that the answer button, again, will always use whatever the last thing was when you hit enter. So like if you try to do left side compared to right side, if I use the answer button here and hit enter, and then went and tried to use the answer button over here, well, it's going to use this value in this X. So just simple stuff. You can. It's not perfect. It'll be very, 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 very close. Additionally, found out that if you try to do that to put something on a denominator, it won't. It'll always throw it in the numerator. Like if you highlight something to enter it to the denominator, it just won't. It's like, no, I want to hear. They're not perfect. Calculators are good, but not perfect. So, couple of key points here. A would be, did you distribute correctly? So you took care of your powers and all that business. Did you combine like terms correctly? Did you get down to the big but ugly version? And then, did you simplify it correctly? And we'll leave that one floating for, I did all of that, but I missed my negative here. I did everything perfect, but I subtracted this for some reason. Or maybe as you were writing all of these, you switched this to a 2 log 4. Okay, something like that, where I did the process, I just oopsed. Okay? So, now that we're through that, we're going to finish the last like 2 or 3 examples of 3-4, and then 3-5 is really just monkey button pushing. We might even have time to spare today if we get through the equation stuff. Because I don't see a point in belaboring all of the model stuff when it's just blah, 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 I can press buttons. It's more, what do I do with that knowledge? But to get the most frequently asked questions out of the way, as of this morning, not only will the party start this afternoon in Spearfish, but the totals are steadily going up a tiny bit. Right now, between tonight and tomorrow, it's looking like roughly 20 inches in Spearfish, in addition to a high wind warning. So if you live outside of town, don't dirtle around after school, get home. Don't go out anywhere, don't plan on going anywhere, because the chances that they shut down the interstate again, like in December, pretty high. I would expect that a lot of the other roads are not shut down, but they're no travel advised, especially if you live outside of town in like open areas. Like I go north to Bell, and I'll tell you, 85, that wind comes straight across there, you're not going to see diddly tomorrow. So probably out of school tomorrow. I would have expected them to try to cut corners and do or a late start on Wednesday, but because it's also an early release and they can't really just cancel that because of people making childcare arrangements. Also, the high wind warning goes all the way through Wednesday, and the snow doesn't stop till like 5 a.m. right now on the hourly. I'm guessing we're out tomorrow and Wednesday. Okay. If you got to bring stuff home, bring stuff home. Don't be dumb and bring your laptop home and forget your charger at school, kind of stuff. If you need any books for stuff, I will never assign anything on a snow day. I think that's stupid. Some teachers might say, hey, you're about to have 2 days off, read this book. So just be prepared for that kind of stuff. And I always tell everyone, if you want to make a quick buck, there's a lot of people with bad backs and knees and a little bit of cash in hand. You roll around with a shovel or a snowblower and you can clean house. Like, just clear out other people's driveways. Give me $100, I'll do the whole works. There's a lot of people who will be lazy and just hand you money and say, go do my driveway. So, free cash. Any questions about that? Whenever we come back, whatever day it is, will be our review quiz, and we should be done with chapter 3, so you'll turn in the packet. If you find yourself with an abundance of time while you're at home, I would strongly recommend that you get very acquainted with special right triangles and basic right triangle trig, because that's kind of the definition for everything we do for the next 3 weeks. Okay? Top right corner. That's the unit circle. That is not the next test, but that is the one test in this class where I don't allow you to have calculator or notes. It looks horrible, but it's just the special right triangles on repeat. Okay?
Do we just have to know like the purple numbers?
No, the whole thing.
So
All of it.
you don't have to like memorize that. You like figure it out.
If you literally know the special right triangles, that takes care of quadrant 1, and then it's just changing signs and do sine and cosine values. It takes care of itself if you know the right triangles. But if you don't know them off the top of your head, you might be in trouble. So before we hop back into today's, that doesn't know the ratios. Those are just angles. I mean the sides. Everyone knows 30, 60, 90. Everyone knows 45, 45, 90. But what are the sides, the ratios? 1, square root of 3, 2. 1, 1, square root of 2. You have to know those.
I think you should just do not analyze the test.
Okay? You will have you will have your regular quizzes, but at some point in chapter 4, you are going to get the trig value quiz, because when you head up to trig with Mr. Spear, he doesn't let you just have the unit circle there with you. You don't get that notes. Like, you get some notes, but it's just expected that you know that because it is just these triangles on repeat. Okay, it's a very core conceptual thing, just like knowing multiplication facts is to coming up to algebra in 9th grade. Okay? You better know that in SOHCAHTOA. You got to throw some phlegm on it. Section 4.1 reviews this entire unit of geometry. So, got to get a in there. So, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Ka, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And t, tangent is opposite over adjacent. If you know this, A, you'll be ready to go for chapter 4. B, this plus parallel lines will get you through most of those questions on ACT. Like most of the geometry related stuff on ACT is this plus parallel lines. Okay, talk to your elders. Okay, talk to the juniors who've done ACT already, our seniors, and they don't do too much more than that for geometry. All right, off to example 6. We had left off with, I talked about the U method of factoring, U substitution. Okay, example 6. Remember we went ahead and we needed a couple of problems. We're going back and doing example 6. Okay. So option 1. It's in quadratic form. My middle term is half the degree of the leading term, and then a constant. So I can factor it just like a quadratic. Factors of negative 16 that add up to 6 are 8 and negative 2. It's just instead of x's, they're going to be e to the x's.
Yeah, but didn't it have like
No, look at what happens when you FOIL. E to the x times e to the x is e to the 2x. Is 8 e to the x, is negative 2 e to the x, is negative 16. Okay? And as soon as you start messing around with the exponents like this, kids get mad. Which is why we introduced that U method substitution and factoring back in Algebra 2. If you don't like this, okay, then you would recognize quadratic form and you would say, I don't like it. So off to the side, you'll say U is e to the x. And then you would rewrite it as a quadratic. I'd say U squared plus 6u minus 16. That's U substitution. Probably because every other variable stands for something.
But U stands for U. Yeah. U.
That's a capital. And it's not actually a U, it's a symbol.
What's the difference between a capital and a lowercase U? One capital and one lowercase U.
How tall it is. Some of the top shelf challenge people at that table might understand that.
U squared is capital and the 6u is not.
Okay.
Yeah, U squared is way taller.
Well, yeah, it's in the front.
That doesn't make sense.
So anyway, do you see how this would be a lot easier to just factor to this? Okay. Now normally, if that was just plain old x, I would say my answers are 2 and negative 8. Big whoop. How do I get those? I set them equal to 0. So I would say u minus 2 is 0. U plus 8 is 0. So I'd say u is 2. and u is -8. And now I remember, oh wait, they're not actually u's. Its e to the x is 2. Its e to the x is -8. And the only way that I'm going to finish that problem off, how do I get the x's out of exponent land?
You put him down in negative. You put him down in the bottom.
How do they get down?
Or Ellen.
Okay, you have to log both sides. Okay. So I ln both sides. And in the middle of all that kerfuffle, I heard someone say it. Yeah, this just says x is the ln of 2, but what happens over here? Since this is illegal, okay, we have an extraneous or unpossible solution. I'm back to ln of 2. Hmm.
Why? Okay, if you just decided your ln base e of 2 equals x, like rearrange it, I don't get ln of 2. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, if you were to use the definition? No, you would do log base of the exponent is base of the log to what power is 2.
What if I just say ln? Oh, because log base e is ln.
And then this says, oh, I got those backwards. You're blabbing at me while I'm writing things. Oops. This says e to this equals 2. Well, this also says log base e when I say ln e is just gone. Okay, so now if I want to check it, the check is not difficult at all. If I said e to the 2 by 2 ln of 2, there we go.
Does it actually matter?
Does it?
Well, I mean, like, if it's just 2 LN versus. Like, I know it's under your calculator.
I don't need my calculator to check this.
No, I mean like for the ln part. Like I know it matters in the calculator, but if it's just 2 ln, that'd be the same as ln. Same.
No.
So it goes 2 So it equals
Because now this is ln of 2 squared, 6e ln 2 plus 16. Oh wait, minus 16. I was going to say, that's way too big. I was up 3 times last night. I've been up since 3:58. So that cancels. I end up with 4 plus 6 times 2. And 12 plus 4. 16 minus 16 is 0. Yay, we win. So the idea behind it is if you don't like just factoring with e to the x, then use substitution.
Is it always going to be u equals e to the x?
No, because part B, look at what your middle term is.
So then we
E to the 2x.
So then you just
Yep.
So it's like x to the 4th. Yep.
Very similar, yes.
Well, I'm just going to think of it.
Yeah. The difference comes at the end when you set it equal to 0 and solve.
We're not doing anything.
What? No, A and B. Do A and B. B is going to have a little bit different because now it's not e to the x as my main term, it's e to the 2x as my main term. You can either work with it as is or use a U substitution. And we say U substitution, like that's the official method that's in most textbooks. You can use whatever variable you want, just don't use X. Generally, we wouldn't use A, B, or C because those are coefficient and constant in a quadratic. Generally, we wouldn't use Y because that's domain in a function. But you can use whatever variable you want. And honestly, it's probably U because some dorky dad joke math professor said substitution too many times in class and just decided to put U's up there.
We can't really do this together. I wanted to do it. That's
Yes?
Like negative 8 for my check, like there, or do I have to put it like that one?
Either way. Right, because left side minus right side should equal 0. Yeah. As long as the equation balances. Oh, there was also, who was it? 1, 2, 3 of you owe me a test or to finish test. Okay. Especially if we're about to have another day or more off. Today is a Maroon Day, right? So I would recommend get that done today. Okay. No.
I thought you could, because it works on my calculator. Or maybe that works. Yeah. Just it's also imaginary.
Well,
So technically.
that's like me asking you who Bing Bong's best friend is, and you say, ooh, Wolof.
Well, you said you can't add a non-qualified, so technically
So this is absolutely.
Take Riley to the moon for me. So, you can just factor as is without that substitution method. You can factor with e to the x in play if it doesn't hurt your head. Or you can come off to the side, identify what your middle term is going to be, and say u is e to the x, and then replace that with u squared plus 2u minus 8 is 0. U plus 4, U minus 2. So U plus 4 equals 0. U minus 2 equals 0. U is negative 4. U is 2. And then substitute back in. Okay. So right rudder, fine. That's probably how I'm going to write out any of my solutions. If you need to left rudder to get there, that's fine. Okay? It is just another skill that can help us get through stuff that didn't quite make sense. Okay? Now once you're there, I think all of us are fine with the end of it is ln of this, ln of this, ln of this, ln of this, and Canceltown illegal. Canceltown x is the ln of 2 again. Plug it back in, and you're going to get, yet again, 4 plus 4. Okay. Just like this one, if you can, you'd say 4e to the 4x plus 8e to the 2x minus 5 is 0. Oh, blue. If I understand that my middle term always represents my u or my different factors, I know there's going to be a e to the 2x here, a e to the 2x here. I know I have to have factors of 5, so I'll say a 1 and a 5. Can I rep through factors of 4 to get me an 8 in the middle? A 2 with a positive 5, a 2 with a negative 1. Now, why do you think I got all this room over here? Then set each equal to 0. 2e to the 2x equals 1. E to the 2x equals 1/2. ln both sides on down the rabbit hole. 2e to the 2x is negative 5. E to the 2x is negative 5/2. ln on down the rabbit hole. Or, off to the side, if you don't like that, we would say u is e to the 2x. Replace 4u squared plus 8u minus 5 is 0. So far this semester, we seem kind of hesitant to go straight to binomials from here. Do you want full AC method? Like 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. What factor is negative 20 add up to this? Keep going, blah, blah, blah. Or I go to 2u minus 1, 2u plus 5. And if we were mental mathing this when it was x in the way, right? We would go straight to, not x, u is 1/2, and we'd say u is negative 5/2. Well, if we go there,
Like have a square root on that though?
what?
Because it's supposed to be 4 and 2.
But 2? No.
Like the square root. I see that.
Huh?
But since we did u equals 2 to the x, now it's just.
Oh, okay. That was over here.
I know, but I did it like on the.
If I treat it as, did you do u is e to the x and then rewrite it as 4 and 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you get square root.
You're still going to do the same thing. It's just you're going to do square roots, and then you're going to end up with imaginary answers. You're going to have 4 answers. These ones are imaginary.
Because I was, and one of them doesn't work.
And then one of them doesn't work. We are going to get the exact same answers. You just went off-roading in the field next to Walmart.
Because right now it's like the square root of 1/2 and then square root -5.
It should be the square root of 1/4. Right?
Because then it's still -1 plus 5.
Child, what do you...
No, it's still square root of 1/2.
Because look, it's like this still.
Okay, you did this.
And then you're like this, and it just be the square root of. And so now I'm stuck.
Oh, okay. Because now you're going to put in a... All right. So you're getting u is 1/2, but your... Or square root of 1/2. But your u was... Should have been e to the... Yeah, e to the x. If I replace that with e to the x, how do I get rid of square root? I square. Okay, you took the roundabout, and I went around the block because I didn't want to. We're in the same place. Yep, you just did it differently. You're in the same place. We're good. And some of us already said it. You are absolutely correct. If I go ln of this and ln of this, perfectly legal. 2x is the ln of 1/2. But, oh, I can either write. You do the ln of 1/2 over 2, or how about I just do 1/2 ln of 1/2? ln of 1/2 over 2, or 1/2 ln of 2, or because they're all terminating decimals, replace any of those with 0.5s. They're terminating. I don't care. I'm grumbly, but it's the same value. And then if I try to ln these, you can't do that.
Over 2 and then +4.
No, because that 1/2 is an object of the log. You can't mess with that. And I mean, if you really, really wanted to, you could do x is the ln of the square root of 1/2. But then you'd have to rationalize it. That's the same thing. Yeah. But now it's a radical. And a radical of a fraction is a fraction of radicals, so it's 1 over square root of 2, and now you have to rationalize it. So do you want to take it that far, or do you just want to call it 1/2 ln of 1/2? Okay. Your choice. They are all correct. All of those are the same. So it sounds like we're okay with this if it's e to the 2x out front, but if it's anything else, we get funky. So 11. Try again.
I did all of that completely different. So I split it in like 4 and 1, and then 1/2 and 10.
I mean, but 40 minus 1/2 is not 8.
Okay.
Just because they happen to be factors doesn't mean they're the right factors.
I know, I did that completely.
Yep. And I understand this one maybe making us go a little cross-eyed. I know that my class did not get to this. I'm pretty sure the purple book doesn't have this at all in it.
I don't remember this at all.
E to the 3x,
I
yep.
have a question. So isn't it always just gonna be that middle term?
Yeah.
Out front? And
Yeah,
then you
that's what
just-
quadratic form does.
And then all you're doing is just finding factors that you're gonna add. So I can
Yeah.
just okay, that makes more sense.
That's when I said if you can go straight there, do it.
Yeah, you gotta use you this time.
Yeah, yeah, keep my gosh.
Looks like kanji right there.
I don't know. Whenever I go fast, when I try to write LN, I write a lowercase h.
Let's not get into the upper lowercase debate again. Well, they did. I just kind of stood here and waited for the shouting to stop.
That's fair.
Mommy, Daddy, you're ruining my birthday party. Okay. If you don't use that U method, I tried to show different colors as to where the pieces for that factoring comes from. Middle term is e to the 3x in quadratic form, so that means that will be my leading term in both binomials. Factors of 7, I can go for that right away because it's prime, so I'm going to have 1 and a 7. Then it's just what factors of 6 in what order is going to get me the magic combination of negative 17 in the middle when I distribute and combine. If you can mental math your way through that, great. If you can't, or just don't feel like it, then off to the side, I would say u is e to the 3x and replace with 6u squared minus 17u plus 7 If I want to do full AC method, factors of 42 that add up to negative 17 are 6u squared minus 14u minus 3u plus 7 and all that business. If you need to go full AC method on it, you can. Whatever your jam is, you're going to end up at 2u minus 1 and 3u minus 7. Well, that's what so many things in math are. It's either extra mental effort or extra writing. Like, you take your pick. Okay, are both of these legal? Like, can I even do that? Okay, then, if I want to check the answers, remember that if I do 6e to the 6 times 1/3 ln 1/2, 6 times a third is 2. If I bring that up top, I'll have 1/4. Or sorry, I'll have 1/2. 1/2 to the 1/2 power is 1/4. No, square root of 2 over 2. Ew. Either way, you'll have ugly radical minus ugly radical, and that makes 7, or negative 7, so. Maybe the check would be nasty on that. I might actually just use my decimals on the calculator for it. They both work, but. Oh, here's another part. Assuming that I did the math correctly, do I have to check this? If, assuming I did the math correctly, do I need to check for extraneous solutions when I'm done? It's not x on a denominator, it's not even radical, and it's not a logarithm, it's an exponential equation. Logarithmic equations I need to check. Exponential I don't have to because exponential equations have a domain of all real numbers. Okay? All right, so that might have been new or an extension of. Ruh-roh, Raggy, I got too many logs. Combine logs. So I've got the ln of x plus 2 by 3x minus 2 is, ruh-roh, Raggy, I don't have a log. I've got a coefficient with a log. So the ln of, careful,
2x or 4x.
the whole thing gets squared. This is also why I like using parentheses on these. I will on my next stage because if I have the natural log of a thing equals the natural log of a thing, then ka-chow. Okay. Over here, distribute but not like a freshman. 3x squared, what's that? Negative 2 plus 6. Yeah. Yo.
So with cancel, can you only do that with the natural log or a normal log?
Remember that it's log base b of x equals log base b of y. Doesn't matter what the base is. So natural log, common log, log base 7. They will always have the one-to-one property. Okay, so everyone's cool with that, even though they're natural logs, not common logs, it's still going to work. Okay. Then I just got to solve my quadratic. I see a 4x squared that is bigger than a 3x squared. I'm going to put everything over on the right side to keep a positive coefficient. I particularly like this one because it's a perfect square trinomial. Square both sides. Add 2. I get x is 2. It's really 2. My original equation had a logarithm in it. I do have to check, not just to make sure that it's legal to put into the log, but I have to make sure it actually balances the equation. So, here we go. We'll do the ln of plus 2 plus the ln of 3 by thing minus 2 is 2 ln of 2 thing. And we said it was 2. Now let's just simplify both sides. So this is the ln of 4 plus the ln of 4, which is the ln of 16. Over here, I'll get 2 ln of 4, which is the ln of 4 squared, which is ln of 16 equals ln of 16. Okay, so please double check these, especially when we're getting quadratics, because they tend to give us multiple answers, which means we have multiple chances to goof up. Ooh, what's going to be different about this?
It's division.
Okay, go.
Okay, so then you
There won't be.
It just has to work in the original. But yes, when I combine my logs, now I'm going to have quotient. Log of a quotient. Minus 5x minus 3. Three, 21, 24, 6. What?
What do you do?
Math.
Why is there free in the corner? Free.
And I don't even have the question mark there. Mic drop.
Oh.
But you don't have the
What did I do
But the other
wrong?
answer is 2, so yes.
Ha! So,
What did I do wrong? Because I did not. Did I just
uh-oh.
factor wrong?
Oh yeah, you just factored wrong
But
because
why?
x times x doesn't make 2x squared.
That's stupid.
I think what you're looking for is
Ridiculous.
AC method. That this times this is -6. What factors -6 add up to -5?
6 and -1.
-6 +1.
Oh.
Which means this breaks
Oh,
into
yeah.
2x squared minus 6x plus x minus 3, and then, yep.
Oh, okay.
You just tried to jump over the hurdle, and you didn't have hops.
You don't jump a hurdle, you run a hurdle.
Maybe coordinated people do. Which Anna is this? Yeah.
She's well, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 5.
So like we're supposed to go like
Yeah, girl's the Energizer Bunny.
And 1, all of them.
Yep.
like so the twister. I got put up in Anna's thing, so
Okay, so it sounds like we're there. We're going to end up with the ln of 7x plus 3 over x plus 1. Notice they put parentheses on it this time. Jerks. One-to-one property of logs. If I have 7x plus 3 over x plus 1 equal to 2x, I can either multiply both sides by an x plus 1 in order to get rid of denominator, or I can cross multiply. They are literally the same thing. So if I cross multiply, it's 2x squared plus 2x is 7x plus 3, which is the same thing as if I had multiplied by x plus 1. I see a, come on, Frank. I see a quadratic, so I want everyone on one side of the bus. Subtract 7x. Subtract 3. I see something that's factorable. The only way that I'm going to get 2x squared is with a 2x and an x. The only way I'm going to get 3 is with a 3 and a 1, so I quick run through the factors of 3 plus and minus that are going to get me a magic -5 in the middle. Okay, moment of truth. I get a -1/2 and a 3, but I have to check them. The original equation has logs in it. Okay, can't log a non-positive. It works here. Over here, I'll get log of a -1/2. Over here, I'll get log of a -1. So that guy's out. Test 3, and it should come out clean. What was it? Log of 6 is log of 6, or ln of 6 is ln of 6. So again, that's 4 squared, -6, +2, -4, -4, -3, -4, -3. And 5, 4 gone, so 5, -4, -8. -8, so 5, 4, -3, -3, and 7. 7, 14, 15. 7. -6.
If I did trigonometry next session instead of
Let's do is negative. X. Four, 7 has 1. Right, so it's a 4. So 4, 4 squared, 4 squared is gone, so 5, 8, 6, negative 4 minus 3, negative 4 minus 3, negative 8, so it's positive 4, negative 3. Yeah? Okay. I'm getting lost on the check, but.
So we get 720. That is what I thought, so.
Yep.
Oh, maybe did it. I should put check it.
Yeah, check it because I'm getting lost on the check. This would be 7, 7, 4, 7 half, 7 halves 1. So it's going to be 9. So 7 halves 1. It's going to be 9 halves. And 10 is 5. Oh! Just say 11 5.
I did it right.
Because you thwart your x squared answer. That cancels, and where u squared like freshman? Well, then where's your 8 at? You don't have it. Minus 4x minus 4x. Minus 8x.
Yep. Thank you.
You know how much it warms my heart to walk by Spears' room and hear kids in trig and calc, and I'll just hear things like squared like a freshman, or can't touch this, or like all these stupid little phrases of mine. I'll just hear it walking by his room, like, got him. Okay. Stage 1. Combine. ln of 2x plus 1 by 2x minus 3 is the ln of 2x minus 2 squared. ln both sides means the objects have to be equivalent. That's 4x squared. Negative 6 plus 2 is minus 4x, minus 3. And square the first term. Square the second term. Multiply and double. Whoa. Now, the fun part about that is, even though it looks like, oh no, I'm going to have nasty quadratic, that part cancels. Add 8x, add 3, and if my mental mojo is on, it's ln of 5 is ln of 5. Or just calculator. Okay. No crying.
It's too late.
There's actually, there was a class going through my quote book on Friday, and someone found that, can I cry now? Kid handed in their final, and then said, can I cry now?
Yeah, it's on his website. I've gone through it 4 times.
There's,
I laugh every time.
there's some heaters in there.
The one that every time is the use your words because he's pointing through it. That one makes me laugh.
Yep.
Can I see it?
Yeah, it's on my website. Look at it anytime. Not now. Example 8. Oh yeah, some of you were in there already. Well, not I haven't updated it on the website, but some of you were in my book. Um, log base 12 of a thing plus log base 12 of a thing. Again, I can't do all of this log stuff if I got too many logs, so combine. Not ln. Log base 12 of, you okay if I distribute right now? 12x squared minus 12x is 2. Okay, I can't just cross out log this time. Now what do I need to use? Even more than a property, the definition itself. This says 12 to this power makes this thing. Better than factor. Isn't this going to be 144? 12 squared? So how about I just divide everything by 12? Divide everything by 12, get everything on one side of the bus because you got a quadratic. Getting x minus 4 and x plus 3. I did. Oh, and I moved it over. Sorry, I double dipped.
Double dip.
Yep. Dividing everything by 12 and subtracted 12 over to the left side. Yeah, left side. I got 2 answers. Now what? Check yourself before you mathematically wreck yourself. If I plug in a 4, I've got log base 12 of 48 plus, plug in a 4, log base 12 of 3. So I'll get log base 12 of 144 is 2, which is true. 12 squared makes 144. Yay. But if I try to plug in negative 3, get out of here. Okay, so we do have an extraneous solution. Okay. And when it comes time for that quiz, remember, I'm not going to say solve and check for extraneous. I'm just going to say solve. You got to be the one checking. Both. Both. If you weren't too busy worrying about other things that you can't control. Get good. And that's complete hypocrisy, too, because ADHD go burr, I miss every due date.
Hey, let's see PreCalc. Actually, I mean,
But you subtract the log. You subtract logs. Because I got 3 1/2. I got probably 10. I bet it's about 20 more. And then I subtract the Oh, I didn't ask. Like 5. Okay, I didn't have the plus. That was mine 7.
I wouldn't, so I subtracted it over to the left side.
That makes sense.
All of this stuff with logs, you need a log on one side or on both sides. I can't combine 2 with a log, so
put a log.
I mean, you could, but you'd have to get real squirrely with it. Oh yeah, you can. You could combine them on the right. You just have to, well, if it's 2, then it means it's 2 times 1. So I need a log that's equivalent to 1. So I'd throw a log 10 over there.
Is 188. Okay. So subtract. So
Which would have you distributing a 100 to the x minus 2 anyway.
So x equals 188 over 99. Is that what you?
Yeah? Okay, left rudder, we okay with quadratic and extraneous? Right rudder. Either you have to turn that 2 into a 2 log 10, because log 10 is 1, and then combine on the right-hand side, or subtract the log over to the left, you get your quotient, cross multiply and solve. But you're going to have to use that definition of 10 to the second equals this quotient. Because it's a common log, so it's base 10. That purple thing says 10 to what power makes this object. So, Does this seem like it's got a little more spiciness than Algebra 2? I mean, it's the same stuff. It's just a little more. Okay. Just a little more thrown on top. Model expense growth, 5. That would fit well with 3.5. We'll just leave the word problem stuff for the next test. And we'll cut it off there. I thought we could get through 3.5, but this equation stuff, normally 3.4 is a day and a half. It took us 2. That's because we don't have as much experience with it because we're changing up our curriculum or we missed stuff last semester. Okay? No, we're not slow. It's just you're learning that stuff for the first time.
But when they add extra days, okay, we'll learn more stuff and just get extra time studying for the final.
If we're losing days, then we need those days to make up our material. No.
But aren't a majority of the days they're gonna add from the first semester?
So then it's like
No.
The four snow days.
If they were going to do that, remember, we have 5 built in that they just ignore. That's why we have a bunch of stuff about logarithms that y'all don't know. First semester just got axed. In 99% of classes, it's not going to be a big deal because they're all year long. But a math block class like this, first semester just got hosed.
Isn't next year kids want to take a year-long algebra too?
They have, Mr. Jameson pushed hard for that, and I think that's a good mark. Algebra 2 gets split up. It's
But you can't get like to calculus, right, guys?
no, the only kids who are going to take the year-long Algebra 2 are juniors who are just done, or kids who, as a freshman, came in at geometry, and then they're like, oh crap, I really don't want to keep my foot on the gas like this. So they want to slow it down and do Algebra 2 as a sophomore, PreCalc Trig as a junior. It's an option. And I think it's a good one. I would not be surprised if in the next 5 years they had full math tracks back and they said all maths up through Algebra 2 are every other day. And then
Because he teaches count. They could just gave algebra 2.
just splitting up high and low classes. Because I'll tell you, if you teach all Algebra 1 or Algebra half all day long, you do want to put your head through a wall.
So like remote puppet is too.
Yeah.
Where do you teach next year, man?
I'll find out.
You have no idea yet?
Oh, God, no. I just know that I'm getting the hell out of here.